Movies in short here. Today, I will summarize the first season of a 2021 Korean drama mystery TV series called Squid Game. The series explores the struggle of poor people in debt that barely make ends meet and the lines they are willing to cross to get high amounts of money. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Song Gi-hoon is down on his luck, having accumulated enormous debts with loan sharks. At a train station, he is asked by a well-dressed man to play a game of dukji, similar to the 1990s game of Pogs, for money. The man gives Gi-hoon a card, inviting him to play games with higher stakes. Gi-hoon accepts, is knocked unconscious, and taken to a mysterious location with 455 other players who awaken in a dormitory and are identified by numbers on their tracksuits. The location is managed by masked staff in pink jumpsuits and overseen by the front man, masked in black. The players are all in dire financial straits and will be given billions of won in prize money if they win 6 games over 6 days. Gi-hoon befriends player 001, an elderly man, and recognizes among the players Cho Sung-woo, a former classmate and businessman, and player 067, a pickpocket who stole his money. The first game is Red Light, Green Light, a children's game where one person commands those behind them to run by saying green light and hold still by saying red light. Anyone caught moving during a red light phase loses the game. In this version of the game, however, those who are caught don't just lose, they are killed on the spot. Gi-hoon is saved from falling by player 199, a Pakistani foreign worker, and is able to complete the game. More than half of the players are killed in the first game, and a few horrified survivors beg to leave. According to the third clause of the game's agreement, if the majority vote to end the games, all players will be sent home, but no money will be given. The players vote, and player 001's deciding vote has all of them sent home safely. Gi-hoon goes to the police but no one believes him except Detective Hwang Joon-ho, whose missing brother received the same invitation card as Gi-hoon. All players are given the chance to return to the games and many do so due to desperation, including Gi-hoon, whose mother needs surgery, Sung-woo, who is about to be arrested for financial fraud, player 001, who has terminal brain cancer, player 067, who wishes to exfiltrate her parents from North Korea and get her little brother out of the orphanage, player 199, who attacked and gravely wounded his boss for withholding his wages for months, and player 101, real name Chang Dok-soo, a gangster on the run from gambling debts. Joon-ho secretly follows Gi-hoon when he is picked up by the game staff. Joon-ho successfully infiltrates the games by taking out one of the masked workers and using his identity as worker number 29. It is revealed that the location of the games is at a remote island. That night, player 067 asks to use the restroom and sneaks through the vents to investigate. She sees the masked workers preparing something with high amounts of sugar. The next morning, the players are now more prepared and start forming alliances. Gi-hoon, Sung-woo, player 001, and player 199 team up. In the second game, the players are to pick a stamped shape out of dalgona, a popular treat amongst kids that's made in ladles over small burners on the streets of many Korean cities. Sung-woo recognizes the game after learning about it from player 067, but doesn't warn his teammates and tells everyone to pick different shapes and then chooses the simplest shape for himself. Gi-hoon ends up picking the most difficult shape, an umbrella, but is able to complete the game by licking the honeycomb to meld it. Player 212, a rowdy, mysterious, and manipulative woman, helps Dok-soo complete the game with a smuggled lighter. A scared player takes a masked staff member hostage and forces him to unmask himself. Shocked that the staff member is no older than a college student, the player kills himself and the staff member is killed for revealing his identity. Player 111, a doctor, secretly works with a handful of staff to harvest organs from dead players to sell on the black market in return for information on upcoming games. Gi-hoon realizes that Sung-woo knew what the dalgona game is, but remained quiet. The staff foment discord among the players to weed out the weak ones. Dok-soo kills another player over food, which results in the prize money being increased. Player 111 asks to join Dok-soo's group after revealing that he has knowledge for the next game. After lights out, a riot erupts and numerous players are killed. Player 067 joins Gi-hoon's team, who protect her from Dok-soo's gang. When player 001 begs everyone to stop, the front man ends the riot. Gi-hoon's team exchange names to build trust. Player 199 is Abdul Ali, and player 067 is Kung Se-byeok. Player 001, who is suffering from a brain tumor, has trouble remembering his name. At night, the guard next door to Junho sends him a message by coughing number 29 in Morse code. In the third game, players are told to form groups of 10. Se-byeok recruits player 240, a girl close to her age. Dak-soo, knowing from the doctor that the upcoming game is tug of war, picks strongmen and rejects player 212, real name Han Minyu, who joins Gi-hoon's team. Despite having weaker players, Gi-hoon's team is able to win their tug-of-war match with player 001 and Sungwoo's strategies and quick thinking. Anticipating another riot, they build a barricade and spend the night taking turns on guard, but Dak-soo's team doesn't attack. Junho learns about the conspiracy with player 111 for black market organ harvesting, as the staff member whose identity he stole was part of it. The frontman catches them and executes everyone involved in the conspiracy, including player 111. Their bodies are strung up for all players to see, and the players receive an apology, as player 111 had an unfair advantage, and the games pride themselves on treating everyone as equals no matter their status in the outside world. Meanwhile, Junho's identity has been compromised by one of the organ dealers. Junho confronts the man using his gun and asks for information regarding his missing brother. He tells him that the man with the black mask keeps all information of previous players. Junho executes the man and leaves. Sometime later, the frontman finds the dead organ dealer with a bullet in the head, and he deduces that the bullet came from a Smith & Wesson M60 revolver, which only the police force use. He begins a facility-wide manhunt for Junho, who later breaks into the frontman's office and learns that the game has been running for over 30 years and that his brother Hwang In-ho was the winner in 2015. For the fourth game, players are told to pair up. Sungwoo, who is close with Ollie, picks him. Gi-hoon, who has a soft spot for player 001, chooses him. Player 240 picks Se-byeok. Expecting that they will be working with their partner, the players are horrified to learn that they will actually be playing against their partner in a marble game of their choice, and whoever gets all their partner's marbles within 30 minutes will win and survive. Se-byeok and player 240, real name Chi-young, talk about their lives, and Chi-young decides that Se-byeok has more to live for. Chi-young intentionally loses in the marble game and gets killed, leaving Se-byeok devastated. Sungwoo tricks Ollie into giving up his marbles and wins, though he is similarly distressed when Ollie dies. Gi-hoon, about to lose, turns the game around by using player 001's failing memory against him, even though doing so unnerves him. Player 001 reveals that he knew Gi-hoon was tricking him the whole time, but allows Gi-hoon to win anyway, as Gi-hoon is his gunbo, trusted friend. Before being killed, 001 remembers his name, Oulnam. Gi-hoon, Sungwoo, and Se-byeok are traumatized by the deaths of their partners. Player 069, who defeated his wife in the marble game, is heartbroken and commits suicide. Foreign VIP guests arrive and are welcomed by the front man on behalf of his boss, who is the host. The VIPs are wealthy patrons who gamble on the games and watch them live. Junho, now posing as one of the masked servants, is sexually propositioned by a VIP. In a private room, he attacks the VIP and interrogates him for info, recording the VIP's confession about the games and everything happening on the remote island, before escaping the island with a scuba kit. The frontman sees him and gives chase. In the fifth game, the players have 16 minutes to cross a high bridge made of panels of either tempered glass or normal glass which cannot support their weight. Most players at the front of the line fall to their deaths as the panels are tested. When Dak-soo gets to the front, he refuses to move, despite the clock ticking. Minyu grabs him and, as revenge for betraying her, takes him down with her to their deaths. Sungwoo angrily pushes player 017 when he takes too long, killing him to reveal the last trick panel. Gi-hoon, Sungwoo, and Se-byeok are the only three to complete the game. As finalists, Gi-hoon, Sungwoo, and Se-byeok are given a change of clothes and a fancy steak dinner. It is revealed that Se-byeok was badly wounded in the previous game, having been stabbed by a piece of glass when the bridge shattered, and is swiftly bleeding out. When dinner is cleared, each of them is left with a knife. After lights out, Gi-hoon, now realizing Sungwoo will go to any length to win, plans to kill Sungwoo in his sleep, but Se-byeok stops him and tells him he is better than that. Gi-hoon suggests they team up against Sungwoo. A weakened Se-byeok instead makes Gi-hoon promise that whoever wins the game will look after the other's loved ones. Se-byeok's injuries worsen, prompting a desperate Gi-hoon to call for help, but she dies before the staff arrive. It is revealed that Sungwoo stabbed and killed her when Gi-hoon was away. Furious and heartbroken, Gi-hoon attempts to attack Sungwoo, but the guards knock them both down. Junho makes it to the other island, but is quickly tracked down by the frontman and the staff. To Junho's shock, the frontman reveals himself to be his brother, In-ho. He then shoots Junho and lets him fall into the sea, seemingly killing him. The final game is the eponymous Squid Game. After a long and brutal fight in the rain, Gi-hoon defeats Sungwoo but refuses to complete the game. He invokes the third clause to end the game so that he and Sungwoo can leave alive, but Sungwoo kills himself after asking Gi-hoon to use the prize money to help Sungwoo's mother. Gi-hoon, after suffering an emotional breakdown, returns home to find that his own mother has passed away. A year later, Gi-hoon is still traumatized by his experience, which is why he has barely touched his prize money. One night, he receives a game invitation card. To his shock, he finds Il-nam, player 001, still alive but sick and dying. Il-nam is revealed to be the mastermind behind the game, which he created to entertain the bored ultra-rich like himself, trying to find a way to derive enjoyment from life and testing whether humanity had any innate goodness left in it. He reminds Gi-hoon that the participants sacrificed each other for the sake of earning the money for themselves. The specific games are based on Il-nam's childhood, and he had participated himself for nostalgia's sake. Il-nam asks Gi-hoon to play one last game with him, another test to see if humanity has goodness left. He points at a homeless man on the street and says that if nobody helps the man by the time the clock strikes midnight, then he wins. If somebody helps the man before then, Gi-hoon wins. As the clock is about to reach midnight, a woman in a police patrol car stops to help the homeless man. Gi-hoon wins and Il-nam dies, presumably after witnessing his loss. Finally snapping out of his stupor, Gi-hoon fulfills his promises to Se-byeok and Sungwoo. He is about to leave the country to reconnect with his daughter in Los Angeles, but sees someone playing duckji with the same game recruiter who invited him. He angrily snatches the man's card away and tells him to stay away. Before boarding his plane, he calls the number on the card and asks them who they are. The front man instead curtly orders him to get on the plane. Gi-hoon instead ends the call and stays in Seoul, now fully determined to expose the people behind the games.